Good afternoon, everyone, and warm welcome everyone who has signed in to the first of a series of webinars that will be hosted by Summer School at the University of Cape Town. As I'm sure that many of those who have joined this conversation are regulars at Summer School. We also hope that we have some of our alumni of the University of Cape Town who've joined us, and other friends and other people who are interested in the webinar series. This evening we have the pleasure to be joined by two very prominent individuals. I'll introduce them to you very soon. To kick off this webinar series on living through COVID-19, unlocking COVID-19, current realities, future opportunities. So to kick off this first of four series, we're going to be looking at the economics of pandemics. Of course, this is something that is on everyone's mind, that although COVID presented itself as a health crisis, by its very nature and by its development very quickly into a pandemic. What we've seen at its most extreme in terms of its manifestation is the impact that it's actually having on our way of life and particularly on our economy. So we are very pleased to have this evening two, as I said, eminent personalities who I think will really help to shed light on this pandemic from a economic perspective. The two individuals who we have with us are Dr. Iraj Abedian and Professor Alan Hirsch. None of them really need extensive introduction, so I'm going to just very briefly just say something about Iraj and about Alan. So Iraj, I'm sure, is well known to many of you. He's a regular commentator in the media. He writes regularly, a columnist and an opinionist as well. And I'm sure you're familiar with Iraj. One of his real assets is his ability to make things accessible to lay people, very complex economic issues, where Iraj is able to make that understandable to lay people. Iraj is chief executive of the Pan-African Capital Holdings, but we are also pleased to claim Iraj as one of our own. He, as an associate with the University of Cape Town, where he was a professor of economics, and Iraj has also served in very senior capacities as an advisor and a member of the Presidential Review Committee, and is really sought after for his views, which, as I said, are really always insightful. And Iraj is joined in this conversation by Professor Alan Hirsch. Alan Hirsch has been in government many years as an economic advisor, I think, to 4 presidents, certainly 3 that I know, but maybe even 4. Alan will tell you. Under Mbeki, with President Zuma, President Mandela, probably even Kgalema Motlanthe. So Alan is very familiar with economic policy from the perspective of government. And Alan also presently, in addition to his role at the Nelson Mandela School of Public Governance at the University of Cape Town, where he was the founder, director, where he is now a professor, he is also a member of the President's Economic Advisory Council, the most recently established Economic Advisory Council. So we're really privileged to have both Alan and Iraj. So with a very brief welcome and introduction, I'm going to turn it over first to Iraj to make some comments. That will be followed by Alan. We may have some exchange of views between Alan and Iraj. And then we will open it up for the questions that we have received from many of you who have signed in for this live discussion. Some of you sent your questions ahead, and some of you will probably post questions on our question and answer feature on this live discussion. So a warm welcome. We are obviously keen to hear what the President is going to say. We've been told he will be addressing us at 8:30 this evening. I think this discussion will really help us to probably be better informed when the President does address us later this evening.